Hi, welcome to my next tutorial on Angular 4, and today in this tutorial we'll discuss about ViewChild and ViewChildren. So what is a ViewChild? So if you recall or already have a knowledge about at the rate input decorator, then you already know that input at the rate input decorator is used to uh, communicate between a child parent and a child. Like in input, whenever we mark anything with any variable with the at input decorator, that can be exposed as a property of the child, which can be set by the parent. So this view child is also yet another way of communicating from between a parent and a child. So which approach you take? uh, you can take any of these approaches. So both these approaches have their pros and cons, you can say. But at times even there is a scenario in which any of the approach you can take. So both are the same. So it depends on like what use case you have, what is your requirement. The only thing I can say is that when you are using at the rate input decorator, then there you have to then there you are exposing the variable, exposing the property of the child component. But suppose some of the property of the child component is not exposed using at the rate input decorator, but it has got public variables and methods or functions, then we can use ViewChild. So we'll see in a short while how to go about it. Okay, so I am assuming that you already have the development environment set up. ng-serve, you start your server, node.js server, and your environment is already set up. So coming directly to this app component.ts, here I'm just taking a title. Just I have kept the bare bone minimal. So just a title, and the template over here, that is the HTML template, is just binded to the title variable. And when I run this application, so I'm starting it from scratch, Angular ViewChild and ViewChildren demo. This is the title. So now let me quickly create a component. I'll demonstrate it in the most simplest form, and then you can actually evolve it to form some real good stuffs in a real application. So let us quickly create a new file within views folder, and let me name this file as, say, child a dot component dot ts, and here I will import, say, component for the decorator from it is the part of Angular core, we already know this. So from Angular core, so let's give a very simple component. Let's define the decorator, component decorator, and in this decorator let me take the selector as say child a, and let me take a template as well, a very simple one I'll take just for the demo purpose. So this, if I give a backticks, then I can have a multi-line template. That is the advantage. Okay, let me quickly put something in this template. Okay, so here I will put the, say, h3. I'll say title. So title, I will bind some variable over here. Say I'll say title. Okay, title already I have taken some variable name on app component. So let me take, say, msg title. T is the name of the variable over here, slash h3, and then I'll take, okay, here I have to give a ticks. I've given the ticks at the, by mistake it is at the bottom, so now it is fine. Okay, next one is the, say I'll take h4 slash h4, and say let me just take a marquee, just a sliding text animation I will have. We can take anything, just this is just a simple template for the sake of demo. And here I will take a bind it with a variable called msg message. Okay, and then finally export this as a class. Export class child a component, or whatever name you want to give. Okay, and here I will say public msg title, the variable with which we have bind it as a string. Okay, and if you want, let us give a default value, so I'll give the name default title, because this title will be setting it through parent. So right now, let us give a default value. Even if you want, you can keep it empty. So public msg, which will come in the body part, string equals let me name it as default string. Okay, so we are done with one very simple component. Now this child component, I want to put it over here as a template, so I'll have to use this selector, whatever is the selector I've used, child hyphen a. So just put a selector child hyphen a slash child hyphen a. Now to use this selector, we already know we have to go to the module and make its entry, so I go to app module, otherwise it will throw an error that it is not able to recognize. So whatever we introduce, components, directive, pipes, modules, we always have to inform the module. Okay, at least the root module. Okay, so here I will import child a component from, say, views folder. We have it in the views folder called child, sorry, in view folder we already have child a dot component, and then we put the components, directive, pipes in which array, if you remember, in declarations array, and module in the imports array. So here we are not having any module, so I'll put it over here. So now let's run it and see. So here we get the child component being displayed, and with the title and whatever is the default title and the default string. So now let us come back to this parent component. So app component, the main component, is the parent component, and child a component is the child component over here. Okay, but we have not yet declared the view child. We have not yet taken this into our control, this child a component. So to use view child, you have to import view child decorator. So I just imported, that is also part of Angular core. So here you have to place this view child, the rate view child, and in view child parameter, you can pass parameter either as a variable name or as a type, class type. So let me pass it as a type. So to pass it as a type, you have to first import that component type, otherwise it will throw an error. So I'm importing that child a component. So child a component from, so it is custom view, sorry, the views VIE, sorry, I have missed that dot. Okay, so views, and inside views we have child a component. Okay, so here the parameter, I'll pass it as a type of child a component, and let me name it as variable name as child a. I can either write it in one line, or the best practice is that you can write it in this way also. Either you declare it this way, or in the immediate next line you can just write it this way also. So let me give the private access. Okay, so now this variable child a has got the reference of this child a component, and I can directly use it from the parent. So if I now say that child a, or let me make it interactive, let me add a button over here in app.component.html. So button, and on the click event of the button I will add send message. Okay, to child it will send a message, and here I'll click send message to child. So that is the caption of the button. Okay, and then I close the button. Okay, then I'll define this method or function over here. Okay, send message, return type I give void. Even if you don't give return type it will do, but still to avoid the linting error in future you can give this. Okay, this dot c, I am getting the reference of child A. Now if you see, if I press dot c, whatever is the property of this child, message title inside this child component, it is all available over here now. So this way we get the reference of the child and its properties and methods. Okay, so child A dot say let me set the message title. Okay, so here message title I will give is child A. Okay, child A title from parent. Just say for example, let me put single quotes. Okay, so child A title from parents I set it, and same way I will say this dot child A dot message is equal to message from parent to child A. That's it. Oh, again I put a double quotes, better to take a single quotes. Okay, now let's run this application. Okay, so it is recompiling. I think that button, it still hasn't come. Some part I may not have saved. See, it is showing over here this icon means I forgotten to save the file. So this app.component.html I think is not saved. Now it is saved. Now let us come back. It should get refreshed. Yeah, we get the button. Now see, the moment I press the button, this title changes and this message from parent to child A, this also changes. Okay, so you see how simple it is if we use ViewChild to communicate from parent to child. So either I can use the input decorator. So see, if I use input decorator, then inside I have to go inside the child. Suppose the child is already there, the child component is already there, and now I feel like I have to access some, there is some kind of requirement in which I suddenly need to access some of its variable. Okay, so there are two ways. One way is like, again you put an input @input decorator over here, and this you can set it as a property in your app component.html file, which we have done in the session on @input and @output decorator when we had done that tutorial. So if you want to revisit, you can revisit and check it out. But suppose there is a restriction that we cannot change the child component anymore, we cannot add any kind of new attribute to the child component, we have to manage it through the parent component, provided the condition that child component contains all those properties and methods. Then in that case you can go for this ViewChild approach. Okay, there you don't need to make any changes to the child component. Okay, so now coming back over here, so this was one of the example of the ViewChild as a component as a ViewChild. Okay, now next example, let us see directive as the ViewChild. Okay, so quickly we will create some directive over here. We already have custom directive folder, so either we can utilize that or quickly make some directive. So let us open this custom directive. Let me open this hover directive. Okay, so I'll try to utilize this hover directive. Okay, it's already done. So here I'm defining a directive called custom hover, and I already have the properties set. Okay, and this is the highlight color. Okay, now I can simply take this directive as a ViewChild now, or you can create your own directive also if you want. If you don't want to reuse this existing directive, if you want to create a simple directive, we can do that as well, not a problem. Okay, now let us come back and import this directive in our application. So same application I'll take app.component. Okay, here let me take some caption first. Say I have taken h4 and I say this is an example, this is an example of directive, custom directive, say custom directive, okay, slash h4, okay, and then we can use this directive over here. So what was the name of that directive? Selector we have to use is custom hover. So I come back to this and just say custom hover, and custom hover is the as we know, it is the directive, custom directive that we have created in one of our previous session titled as custom directives. So I would suggest you that you revisit that video once again to know how we have created this custom directive and what are its functionalities. So if you revisit this custom directive, custom hover, sorry, of the custom directive, which is the file called hover directives, which we have created in that session, then you know that this is the selector, this is the name which we use for directive, and here I have used the input decorator just so that a user can customize it, a default color, what will be the default highlight color. So if I give the same name as the selector, then this itself can be used to assign a default value. So whenever where there is a mouse enter, the highlight color will be whatever color the user has set as default, and on mouse leave the highlight color will be changed back to the rollout color. So rollout color I have taken as default white, you can change it to whatever color, okay, and this is the method which we have defined, the highlight color. Okay, now so let us change this custom hover color. Let us configure this first. So coming back to this template, so custom hover color is equal to, say by default I take pink, okay, and then we know that whatever directive we are using, we have to put the information in app module. Okay, so I have already put this information over here. This is input. I have to import hover directive from custom directives and put it in the declarations. Okay, put it in the declarations, then it should work. So now let us check this. Okay, now if I roll over, you see I have set the color pink. Okay, so now let us set this directive from through the parent component. So I come back to the parent component, that is app component.ts, and here I have already defined this ViewChild. Okay, first I import the hover directive, okay, and this hover directive I am taking this variable name and of type hover directive. So I have got the reference of this directive. Now what I will do is I will come back to this component and let me create an HTML element, input type, say color. Input type is equal to color is a HTML5 element. So if your browser supports HTML5, you will get it. And here I'll give a ng model. I'll bind it. I'll make a two-way binding. Okay, so this bracket. So ng model I will use for a two-way binding is equal to, say selected color is the name of the variable I will take, selected color. Okay, so that's it. So let us now define this selected color as a public variable over here. So public selected color colon string. So this means from that color object, whatever I will select, it will get stored, that color code value will get stored in selected color value, and this selected color value will become my once I click on the button, say when I click on that button, we already calling this send message. If you see, when I'm clicking on this button, send message is calling. So let us put it over here only. Okay, let us set the color over here. So this dot, what is the name of that directive reference? That is hover directive. So this dot hover directive dot, say, highlight color. Highlight color is a method, so directly we can change this custom hover. Custom hover is the value. If you come to this hover directive, you see whatever I am selecting in custom hover, assign the value, that becomes the highlight color on mouse enter. On mouse leave is white. I have given a hard coded color white. Okay, so I'll just change the rollover color. Custom hover is equal to this dot selected color. Okay, so when the user chooses the color and clicks on the button, then the color will be changed. Now let's run the application and see. So we have got this color object over here. Now see, this is the pink, highlight color is pink. Okay, so when I click on it, this message still it is okay, there is no color because I am not choosing any color yet. Now choose a color, click, and this is HTML5 element. So I select, say, green for example. Now you click this button, so highlight color gets assigned, so this becomes green. Okay, say now you choose any color, say orange. Okay, now you click on this send button, so it will change to orange. So this way we are setting the directive also using the ViewChild component. So let's come back to the code, and now you can relate the code. So it's nothing, in this HTML I have used this input type color element, and I have selected a two-way a variable using two-way data binding called ng model directive of Angular, and this sector. So whatever a user is selecting from this color palette, that value, that color code value will get stored in selected color. And as soon as I hit that button, hit this button which I put over here, send message button, send message to child. So this button is calling click send message, and within click send message I am updating the color of this directive property. Hover directive dot custom hover is equal to this dot selected color, and that's how it is taking place. Okay, so now we have seen how we can refer to directives as ViewChild, and we have also seen how we can refer component as ViewChild. Now let's see how we can configure the template. Refer the template, using ViewChild. Okay, now let us come to this HTML component. Let us do one thing. Let us now create, say, input, or let us say I create a div, or div I can create. So this I take a div. Okay, or let me keep it very simple, just for the purpose of example. Let me make input, say input type is equal to text. Okay, type is equal to text, and say I give a f name, means first name. Okay, so if I give a hash, that means this is the ID of this input element. This is what it means in Angular 2. Say first name. Okay, so same way let me copy paste it, and let me create a break tag. Okay, and this is also text, and this is the last name. Okay, so you'll get this first name box and last name box. So I can type anything over here. In the last name also I can type anything over here. Okay, now I'll come to app component, and again I'll use a ViewChild. Okay, so let me use a ViewChild, and here we can use it by the name, the ID name, that is f name. Okay, so you can use the name. Now we have seen that how we can use type, but we can also refer to name also. So either of the way we can refer to a component. So here in this case of template, we are referring it with name. Okay, and then we can define, say, private variable. Okay, so private, so take some variable name. So I'll take f name. Okay, same name I am taking, or okay, it may you may confuse, like I am checking f name over there also. So let me do one thing. Let me take element name, lm name, lm f or lm first name, no? So f name, okay, and this should be of type element ref. Okay, now what is element ref? Element ref is to for referencing the DOM element, okay, and that is also a part of Angular core. So for if you want to use refer to the template, you have to take element ref because you want to refer to the DOM, okay. So same way I can take one more view child for the other field as well, and here that field name is L name, okay. So I'll take L name and element, say L name element ref, okay. So next, so this is how we have referenced it, okay. Now next let us do one thing. See, since we are referring a DOM, what we are trying to do, we are trying to set the some style on this element. So this is a DOM element. This is a very important point, that if you are referring to DOM element, you should wait for the whole element to get rendered, because it may happen that your page is loading, data has loaded, but still your DOM element has not been rendered, text box has not been rendered, input text box has not been rendered, and you are trying to reference that, then it will throw an error or will silently fail as well. So we have to wait for the full page to get ready. So for that we can use the lifecycle hook. As we know that Angular component has got lifecycle, like init, initialize, then fully initialized, then destroy when it is getting destroyed. So all these life cycles are there. So let's use one life cycle called, which is also part of Angular core. So first import that, that is called after view init. After view init, import it, then come to the class name or class declaration over here, here in app component, public class app component, and implement this after view init. So once you implement after view init, you have to implement the method as well, or the function, whatever you call it over. So I'll say ng after view init, and this should return void, okay. So this means after this part of the code will get executed after the whole view is ready, after the DOM elements are all ready, okay. After the DOM elements are already, then this will get referred. So that is the reason why we are taking ng view init, okay. So I think this is clear to you. So now let's move further to this, okay. So here we will write, so we have to use one constructor also to inject this element ref, okay. We have to use the constructor, or let's do one thing, since we have already defined it, so no constructor is not required. We have already defined this element ref over here, and anyway we are using ng after view init, so not required, we can directly refer to this, so no need to inject it. So this is already there, okay. So here I'll say this dot lmf name dot native element. So in one of the session we have already seen this when we are making this directives, custom directives. So you remember this native element will give you the reference of that DOM element, particular DOM element. So lmf name dot native element means we have got the reference of this first name input text box. So after getting the reference, I can use a plain JavaScript. So style dot say background color, so background color is equal to, we can give any color code, or we can give the name of the color. Say I take green, okay, and let's copy this and paste this and change the foreground color as well. So background color style is background color, and for foreground color or the text color it will be only color. It's a plain JavaScript thing. So foreground color I'll take it as say red or any color you wish. Same I'll do it for the other text box also. So here I, instead of lmf name, l name, and let us take its background color as say silver, and this one as blue. L name, let us change it over here. and this color, it is just for testing purpose, so you can take any color. I'm taking very odd colors, so you can take some color which really looks aesthetically good. Okay, so I say blue. Let's see, let's now run it and see. Okay, so you see that it has become background color green. Identify type, say my name, it is red, and here it is the background color is silver. Identify type, my title, it is coming this way. So what we see is that using ViewChild we can send message to the directly, we can access in fact the properties and methods of a component, a child component. So this is the advantage. So it can be something like, you can say a composition also kind of thing if you talk in terms of object. And I won't say that exactly it is composition, but some bit of it you can assume like a composition, like a child component is contained within the parent component. So it is something like that. Okay, so this is how it interacts. So we have seen how ViewChild can be used with component, ViewChild with directives, can reference directives or custom directives, and ViewChild can even refer to the template. Okay, now let's imagine a scenario. If I come over here, let's come back. So there can be a scenario like you have got a same component repeated, same child component repeated over that. Okay, now say for example this child component A is getting repeated, so I am repeating it. Okay, so this much. Now which one will it actually target is the question. See, after repeating this, I've got default title and moving default is string. Now if I say send message to child, what will happen? Only the first one will get affected, others don't get affected. So there can be a scenario in applications, say some you are making a sticky notes, or you are making some kind of to-do list or something like that. So you have to keep on adding, and then you have to target the to-do list number 1, to-do list number 2, 3. So to-do list component will be same child component, only that will keep repeating. Okay, for different dates. So what we can do is, if you have a situation like this where there are multiple children, then you can use this ViewChildren. Instead of ViewChild you can use ViewChildren. Okay, so what I will do is, at the moment I will just, or let me do one thing, let me keep it separate, because I will be sharing this code to you via link. You can find the link in my video comment. So let me keep it this way only. Let me do one thing. Instead of child component A, okay, instead of this child component A, let me quickly create one child component B. Okay, so let me keep it separate so that you can get both the codes. Okay, so I come to views, and here in coming to this child component A, child component, let me quickly make a copy of it, so it will be quick, right? And paste it. So child A component, I've got a copy of it. So this has named it as child A component dot 1, but let's give it some more meaningful name. So I won't keep it as dot 1, I'll keep it as child B. Okay, let me keep it as child B. Okay, so after opening this child B component, let us change the selector also to child B. Okay, so same way I get the message title and this, and here let's name it as child B component. Okay, and then let's come to app module, because you have to inform the module that we want to use this. Okay, so I open this app module.ts, and just like child component A I had imported, let me import child component B. Okay, child B component from child B dot component. Okay, and just take this child B, and as we do, we place it over here. So this will be visible now. Let's come back to this, and instead of writing so many child A, let's make it child B and child B, and let's copy child B. Let's keep it separate. Okay, so okay, just let's keep it 4 only. Okay, now let's come back to component.things, and instead of this view child, let's make view children. Now view children also needs to be imported first, then only you'll get it. So let me import view children from Angular core. Okay, so view. So what will view children return you? It will return you a query list. So I have to, even when you are using view children, also make sure that you import query list. Okay, query list will be the list of all the children, which will convert to array. So view children. Now I can continue with this view children. Okay, and then we can take this. We have to import this child B component also. Sorry, in fact I copied everything. I shouldn't have copied everything. Just this line I need to copy, paste, and change it to child B component. Okay. Child B component from child B component. Okay, now take this child B, and same way in view children we pass this component. Okay, by reference, and here I'll take private. Okay, say I like child B. Okay, colon child B component. This is a type child B component. Okay, fine. So this is it. And now, yes, one more thing. Sorry, since you are using view children, better use query list. Okay, don't take again, it will be simple. Okay, so I backtrack. Actually, I mistakenly I took it directly like that. I have to use query list, otherwise again it will be a single children. So query list, and here you have to say type. Type will be child B component, which is this one. Okay, you have to write it like this because it is a multiple children, so I cannot take it directly of type component, otherwise it will not, again it will take the first component only, just like your view child, or it may throw error as well. So now it is query, it will have a list of this query of child B components. It will query for child B components and return you the list. Now this list I need to convert it to an array. So before that, let's do one thing. Private, say child B array. Okay, child B array. This will be of type array only. Okay, and this you can take it directly as okay, array of what type, you have to mention it over here. Okay, always you have to mention it in the template, that array of what type you want. So array of child B, or even any you can write, otherwise child B component. You can even omit this part, automatically it will typecast. Okay, but a good practice is that you should always give the type. Okay, now here I can write this dot child B, which is a query list. Now this first variable dot to array, you will get one method called to array. So once you do this, this gets converted to an array of child B components. Okay, so first child will be at index 0, second child will be at index 1, and so on. So now if I want to, in the same button event, I will write this dot child B dot, say this is your, okay, child B is your array, right? So this dot child, okay, let me do one thing, let me create a separate button. Let's keep it separate, let's not mix it up so much. Okay, let me come to app component HTML, and here I will write one button. Here I use one button. Okay, here on the click of this button, you will say send message to child B. Okay, let us write something like that. Okay, then to child V. Okay, slash button. Okay, and let us do one thing in child V. Let us not keep marquee, otherwise you won't be able to differentiate it with child A. Instead of this marquee, let us remove this marquee. Okay, let us remove this marquee because it is very disturbing to have so many marquees. Like, means you won't be able to focus. And instead of that, let us do one thing, H4, let us give a style. Say let's make the font color as red so that we can easily distinguish. Okay, that's it. Now coming back to app comment, so now it will display 4 child Bs. Okay, so I purposely made the color red and removed the marquee so that we can distinguish it from child A. Okay, because child B is a copy of child A, so that we don't get confused. Now send message to child B, you have to declare over here in app component dot let me close this because we have opened too many files. Okay, so here I define it just like I defined send message. So let me define public send message to child B colon void, that means return type is void. Okay, then I can write this dot child B. Okay, and index 0. Say child B, I want first child. Okay, first child dot say message title, okay, is equal to say title set by parent. Okay, title set by parent, and this dot child B 0. 0 means first child because an array starts from 0. Dot another one is the message is equal to sent message sent by parent. Okay, let's run it and see. Okay, it seems like some error has come. Let's check what it is saying. Okay. Okay, cannot read property to array of undefined. Why is it saying undefined for to array? Let's see. This dot child v was a query list for this child v dot to array. So it is somehow finding child v as, it is taking child v as undefined. Okay, so okay, I think we can place it in view in it. Okay, just let us check, let us troubleshoot this. Okay, as I had explained earlier that this ViewChildren is actually referring to the child elements and the DOM. Okay, child element means referring to the DOM elements. So it is better that we just define it over here and not in set the value over here because it may not have been initialized fully. So what we do is let us move it over here inside ng after view init. So here we can safely assume that all the DOM has been loaded. Okay, so child what was the name of the variable we have taken? It is child B. Yeah, child B. So child this dot child B is equal to sorry, I have copied pasted it wrongly. This dot this array we have to take, sorry, this child B array. Okay, so let us write the same code over here. Let me undo and I'll show you. Okay, so this code what we had put over here, we should actually initialize it inside the ng init life cycle, ng after view init life cycle. Okay, so that way we are sure that the DOM is ready. Maybe the DOM is not ready, so that is why it is showing undefined. Okay, So let us put it over here in ng after VUnit. So this dot child v array, okay, equals this, okay, over here. That's it. Okay, so now child v array will consist of this whole child v components, different components. Okay, one more mistake we have made here. It won't be just child v, it will be child v array. Okay, that's it. Let's come back. So now it works fine. Now you see there are different child over here, default title, default string. Okay, this is your component b. Now if I click on this send message to child v, you see I have put the index 0, so the first child is getting targeted. Okay, so if I put the this as 1, then the second child will be targeted. Okay, so this is how ViewChildren works. So let's recompile it. Now you click on this button, see now the second child gets targeted. Okay, so here even you can keep it flexible enough. You can pass it in the argument like say child num, let me take it as child num colon of type number. So instead of hard coding over here, I can just pass this child num over here. Okay, I can just pass child num over here. Okay, so if you put so here in this you have to pass this child num. Say I said 2 means the third element. So now if I click over here send message to child, we see the third element is getting targeted. So this can be one example of say to-do list, different to-do list or a scheduler you have created. So they are the same type of component repeated but having different properties. So this way you can control. You can take the reference as a children, ViewChildren. Okay, you can even try to have a say input type is equal to say number. Just as an exercise you can try this also. Okay, and here also I can take ng model, or this you can try it as an exercise. See, you can take a user input at what child to target, okay, and feed this input over here. So equals say say give it some name. So I give it the name child index, say child index. Okay, child index. So if I do it like this, then I don't need this. Then in that case, instead of passing over here, what I can do is I can go over here, I can declare a public variable of child index, public say child index of type number. Okay, say is equal to, give it a default value 0, otherwise it may return an error. At least a 0th element should be there. Okay, now this child index I'll directly pass it over here instead of this writing here child number. Okay, I can pass child index over here. Let's see if it works. This dot child index, sorry, you always have to write this if it's a private variable. So this dot child index, and then I come over here, my cursor is blinking a lot, flickering, this dot child index. Okay, now let's run it and see if it works fine. Okay, now I've got this number, so 0. If I send message to child v, see it is set by parent. Now if I move it, increment it by 1, click say second child parent. Okay, 2. Okay, third one gets targeted, and then I will say 3, then the fourth one will get targeted. But if you increase it further, it will throw an error. So you have to make a check also that it does not exceed your array dot length minus 1. Okay, so to summarize it, we have seen how ViewChildren can be used. What is a ViewChildren? ViewChildren is a decorator ViewChild and ViewChildren, we have seen two decorators. So these are decorator to refer your refer your component, child component, refer the directive, and refer template ref from within your parent component. Okay, so you can customize it. Even you can see send different messages to different child. It's not that it should have same. Okay, you can say that if it is child 0 it should have this, if it is child 1 it should have this message. So that also you can do. Okay, so how you can do, I'll just I'll give a hint, and rest you can try it out yourself. So say for example I am having private, say message array. Okay, message array. Okay, colon, it is an array consisting of string. Okay, okay, equals, let me hard code it. This you can get from service also, but let me hard code it. So here I write message for child 1. Okay, then message for child 2, and then message sorry, for child 3, and finally message for child 4. Okay, anyway use single quotes, but anyway since I have already typed it, so let me continue with this. Okay, so this is my message array. So I want that corresponding child will get the corresponding message. Right now what is happening, all child are having same message, default title, default string. So title I am not done, I am just looking at the string. So here what we can do is, here we are setting this dot message child index dot message is equal to message sent by parent. So this part what I can do is, you can simply write this dot message array, sorry, this dot message array we have taken. Okay, and this will be this dot child index. So corresponding message will go to corresponding child. So each child will now have different message. Let it get recompiled. Oh, let me see if I have saved it. I need to save it as well. Okay, so I hope this is saved. Okay, I have to click the button send message to child, then all it will get updated, right? Okay, let's do this. So I click yes. Okay, see it is saying message for child 1. Okay, now you increment it. Sorry, I have incremented 1. Okay, so for second child, see message for child 2. Okay, so I'm not having repeating the same message. For 3, message for child 3, and so on. Okay, for the last child, message for child 4. Okay, so this way you can highly customize it. This can even come from a web service also, these messages, if when you are working on a real-time application. Okay, so fine, so this is it. I'll share the code in some link. I'll put it somewhere and share the link with you so that you can have the code base with you and try it out. Okay, so thanks very much. Thanks for watching this video, and if you have any queries, please feel free to post it in the comment so that other viewers can also benefit from it. And please do like and subscribe my video in case if you have liked it, and your suggestions are also most welcome for the improvement of this tutorial. Okay, thank you very much. Thanks, bye bye.